few movies, take a few notes. It was fun.
1982 definitely had its share of classic movies like Blade Runner, E.T., The Thing, which may or may not be in an upcoming episode. Stay tuned. And of course, this delightful Fright Fest that features a haunted house, a tormented family, and a psychic whose personality and sass more than exceeds her diminutive stature. So let's whisk on back to a time where television remotes were powerful enough to ruin your neighbor's football game as the dolls cover the Spielberg classic Poltergeist. And now, the Dolls of Horror.
It's showtime.
Hi guys, welcome back to the Dolls of Horror, the spot to feed your tormented addiction. I'm Summer.
And I'm Jamie.
And tonight we have with us a very, very special guest, all the way from Ireland, my dear friend Elena.
Hi guys.
Hi, welcome Elena.
Hey.
I'm so happy that you're able to be here.
I'm so happy to be on this show. I'm so excited.
Yes, it's been a long time coming. So I'm still very, very excited. So since Elena is a first-time guest, we're going to ask her our first-time guest questions.
Yes.
The first one, of course, is what is your favorite horror movie? Now, I know this, but no one else does.
Okay. Yeah, Summer knows the answer to this, and without any hesitation, I will literally vomit out Wes Craven's New Nightmare.
Oh, yay.
Yes. That's one of my most favorite in the entire series as well. So I'm with Elena on this train. I mean,
Yeah, very good pick. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Elena, what started you on your horror journey?
That's a very interesting question, and I know I kind of like tried to vocalize what you meant by journey, because it's like it came into my life at a time when I wasn't really looking for it, if that makes sense. Like when I was a child, I was a bit of a scaredy cat. I know we'd be watching them at sleepovers, and they never really, I was that shy child and I was scared of them. But like whatever way it was, like in my, I want to say mid-20s, I went through a very bad part like of my life, which I'm thankful that I'm out of it now. But whatever way it was, this is a funny story. I don't know if you guys know the store HMV. It's like it sells DVDs and stuff. That was like in Ireland and England, and that was closing down. And I went in to see, was there anything on sale? And there, lo and behold, in the corner was A Nightmare on Elm Street, and it was the entire box set on sale for like €25. And I was really looking at it, and I was like, and I was thinking to myself, you know what? I haven't seen the whole lot of these, and I feel ashamed that I haven't seen every single one of them. I've seen, I think it was the third one I saw first in Comedy Central, and then I went backwards and I saw the first one. And then I was really like, you know what? I'm not feeling great. And at the time I had this thing called daily headache syndrome. So I would have like migraines every day. And I just remember it so well that I closed the curtains, and for the whole entire week, I binged the Nightmare on Elm Street box set. And I saw it in a completely different way than when I was like 14 years old or just seen it. And it just impacted me in such a way that I was like, you know what? I like love special effects. I can see this from a way that I'm not entirely scared shitless, but I can see acting potential and know that as an actress, because I want to be an actor, that it is really tough, like to play those characters and play like something that really, really challenges you, and it doesn't get enough respect in that aspect. So whatever way it was, that just hit me straight in the face and was like, you know what? I need to look at more classic horrors from that generation, because it's like they all seem to have something really special about them. And it's like I'm at a certain age where I'm not, scared anymore. Like it's not hitting me the same way as a child, and I can see them from a different aspect. So in seeing those, I like found a new love for the genre, and then went out of my way to try and make it happen that I would, try to meet the people who really impacted me at this time in my life. And I'm so lucky to say that I have, and have amazing memories, and now made really, really amazing friends that I don't know what I would do which
It's
is
true.
you, Summer.
Oh,
Oh.
And
It's true.
yeah, so it's really a special thing that came into my life, and I believe everything happens for a reason, and this is obviously meant to be part of my life and my general journey. So I
yes.
guess that's what
I
I
love
can say.
that story.
That's a beautiful story. I love it.
Yes. And we should also say that Elena and I have had little guest spots in an upcoming horror movie called Crave, Roots of Evil.
Yay!
Yes.
So exciting.
And we got to have a scene together, and
Yes, we did.
it was amazing.
It
So
was so amazing, and I'm so happy that I got to share it with you, Summer, because it's like it just makes it so much more special.
it really
to, like,
does.
make
The
that
whole
Aw.
thing, like we were roommates, like they had us in the room together, so we were roommates at the hotel and everything. So the whole thing was like the Elena and Summer adventures in filmmaking, you know?
Yeah.
I would watch that reality show, by the way.
It was a lot of fun. Actually, it was really fun because this podcast hadn't even had like one episode out yet. So we were still
Aw.
planning it. But we were like planning to record the next week. So I was doing my homework for Silent Night, Deadly Night, and Elena was watching it with me.
Oh, I love that. Again, I would watch that show. It's awesome.
Yeah, and we were we ate Jack in the Box, and we
did.
went to Walmart. All things that she's never done.
Oh.
What else did we do that you don't do there? I gave you an apple, and you're like, this isn't an apple, because our apples are so like modified with hormones and stuff.
Oh, sure. Yeah.
She's like, this is not an apple. It was really funny.
Aw.
It was really, really funny. So, but no,
Yeah.
it was a great weekend. It really was.
Yeah, I probably caused a lot of trouble though, because I've got it under control, but I have a bit of food intolerance, so I'm not used to your guys' food. So whenever I
Chemicals.
travel in general, I just get sick for a couple of days, and it's really annoying when I want to go to like conventions and stuff, because I know now in advance that I'm going to need at least 2 days in advance to combat anything that happens jet lag and food wise. So that was really funny as well, going around Walmart and trying to be really like diva-ish, like with like actors being like, yes, I can only have the yogurt and you have to buy me bananas and you have to like buy me all these like fancy stuff, and everybody was having pizza and I was like, I'm sorry, I can't have the cheese.
Yeah, the cheese really affected her, our cheese specifically. Like she can have it there, so it's not like a lactose thing. It's something that a preservative they put in our cheese, where that's really messes her stomach up and just makes her just terribly ill. But you can eat Jack in the Box, and so we got tacos with no cheese.
Good.
Yeah, it was such a fun weekend, and I was so nervous. So having you there really like calmed me down, because I was scared.
Yeah, so was I. I was like terrified. Like, never mind the fact that the door on her like motel room didn't have a proper lock. Like, I was really scared like before you came, and I was there for like 2 days going, oh my god, there's like no lock in this door. I'm literally in a real life horror movie.
We were like a Super 8.
Oh.
But it was fine. It was good. Nothing happened. I mean, we were like kind of like right off the highway, so it's not like we were in the boonies, but yeah, it was I'm used to this sort of environment, but it was an entirely different experience for Elena here, coming all the way from Galway, Ireland.
Totally.
For sure.
Yeah. Okay. So we'll obviously stop talking more about Crave, Roots of Evil on other shows, because as things progress in the filmmaking, because it was halted for COVID, they're backing up and running now, we'll be keeping everyone up to date on that. So that's very, very exciting.
I'm so excited to see it.
Oh, I'm excited and nervous to see it.
Yeah, I think I'm just nervous.
Oh yeah, I'm really, really, really nervous, but I'm excited because it's been a long time coming, and not 2020 kind of like put a halt to everyone's projects.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
Good.
Yeah. Tonight we're discussing 1982's Poltergeist. It's a classic. It is so good. this was Elena's pick to talk about, and I'm glad she did because I wasn't even thinking about it.
Oh, awesome pick. I love an excuse to watch this movie again, so
Yeah.
thank you.
Yeah, I wasn't even thinking about it. Most of what we do is slashers with lots of kills. And as I was talking to Jamie and Elena earlier, I'm like, this one has no kills, but I propose we say, what's your favorite skeleton? If you all have been living under a rock and have not seen this movie yet, the basic synopsis is a family's home is haunted by a host of angry ghosts who terrorize the family and kidnap the youngest daughter. It stars Jo Beth Williams, Craig T. Nelson, Heather O'Rourke, and Zelda Rubinstein, amongst others. Directed by Tobe Hooper and written by Steven Spielberg.
Dream team, I mean.
Dream team. However, there is like a lot of controversy over who actually directed this movie.
Yep.
Because I remember hearing Spielberg say like Tobe Hooper doesn't know how to take charge in his project, so he had to like take over and start directing it. But then he apologized later. And so who had more to do with the directing, Tobe or Spielberg? I don't know, but I love both of those people. So I don't care.
Yeah, there's a lot of interesting stuff around the making of this movie and around the movie itself, of course. So yeah, it's definitely interesting.
So for the favorite kill,
fatality.
I did my homework on this a couple of weeks ago, so I'm looking at my notes and going, oh, I did write that. I actually picked not a kill necessarily, but I think this is one of the scenes, the only scene. This may be one other scene in a horror movie that has ever affected me. And I told people that. Ooh. And really made me, I couldn't finish watching the movie that night. I had to watch it later. And so I'm picking this is my favorite kill, even though it's not a kill. It's when Marty starts ripping off his face in the bathroom sink.
Me too.
And yes, and chunks are falling into the sink and he just keeps ripping. And it's kind of like Cabin Fever when she's shaving her legs and she's shaving skin off. I'm like, stop ripping it.
Oh, it's such a good scene. It sticks with you. Yes. You can never unsee it ever.
Yes, I never could. And if this was not a dream sequence, that would have been a kill, obviously.
Yeah.
So I picked that as my favorite kill simply because it's affected me for my whole life. And it's one of the only scenes in any movie that ever has done that. Ever.
Wow. It's a good one. Yeah.
Yes. It made me nauseous when I first watched it. I think I was maybe 10 or 11 when I was watching it. And I couldn't finish the movie that day. I had to finish it later.
That's the best compliment ever. Right.
So that one scene has stuck with me. That one. And Jamie or Elena, have you seen Dr. Giggles?
Oh, yeah.
I haven't.
Okay. There's a scene.
On my list.
Yes. There's a scene that also affected me really badly where I had to turn it off and go back to it the next day because it made me nauseous. Where Jamie will know Dr. Giggles is going after stepmom and she just ate a tub of ice cream and he puts a tube down her throat with some blades that's supposed to suck out the ice cream. Yeah, Elena, exactly. She's making a face.
Yeah. Yeah.
And so he turns it on before he puts it down her throat and the blades start outward and then go into the tube. Right? So he puts it down her throat and you see the ice cream being sucked into a bowl, like pumping her stomach, right? But then you see the motor slowing down. So, you know, the blades are coming back out and they don't show anything, but they show blood coming into the bowl. So you know what happened. And that scene affected me too. It's the weirdest thing. Those two scenes have really, really got to me when I saw them.
I mean, again, that's like the highest compliment a scene like that could get. So they did their job.
They did. It was crazy. So what do you guys think? Do you guys have a favorite almost kill or do you have a favorite skeleton maybe? Elena?
I do. But this is like a really morbid answer, but
we're all about morbid.
Okay. Well, the only pet I ever had in my entire life was my budgie Chirpy. And the start of the movie always makes me sad because Tweety dies.
Tweety.
So Tweety, like it just her face and her emotions have just been like, I relate to that so much because my heart literally like it's never been the same since I lost my like first pet. So yeah, so I guess that counts as a death.
Yes,
Like,
it does. It does.
Totally. And it's such a like emotional scene, like because Carolyn is so sweet, you know, and so she wants the flower and the little blanket and the picture, and it hit me in the feels too.
But then she gets right over and says, "Can I have a goldfish now?"
Yeah.
Well, I loved in that scene when Robbie, is that the kid's name? Brother Robbie?
Yeah, Robbie,
Says, "Can we dig it up and look at the bones?"
And then E-Buzz, their amazing golden retriever, is like trying to dig it up. Yep.
I loved it.
Well, for me, I really love that face pulling scene too. It's so classic. I mean, you just can't beat that, and everything leading up to that is amazing too. So when the meat is like moving across the counter and the meat is getting all gnarly, but for a favorite kill, I didn't 100% know what to say, so I said the house at the end. Because
I'll take it. That counts.
It was kind of its own like living, you know, thing. So I'm like, hey, the house. That's my favorite kill.
It's true. It does die. It disappears, but it's close enough.
Yeah, you know.
Do you guys remember in Poltergeist Part 2 when they're trying to get the insurance claim settled and they won't take the answer that the house disappeared? And Dad's like, "It's not coming back. I have faith in that."
Yeah. Oh my God.
This I know. I loved that scene so much. It's so funny. Oh, that's amazing. So we'll skip the kill creativity, though. I think our answers were very creative. So,
I agree.
Yeah. Unless, Elena, did you have anything to add on creativity on the kills?
Oh, geez. I don't even know whether we can get into that aspect because I think the film's cursed. So
we'll talk about that too. Let's talk some fashion moment, though.
You know, it's my favorite.
It's my favorite.
Young, hot, and an attitude that says, who cares? It's only fashion.
That Hansel's so hot right now.
Elena, what did you pick for a fashion moment?
Oh, geez. It's like I was focused more on hair, to be honest.
I have a nice hair too.
To like fashion, but all of it. Like, as in, I love the 80s and I love all that stuff, and especially just American 80s, because I think in Ireland, I don't think we shared the same kind of concepts and like style as we would have seen on American television. So yeah, all of it.
Agreed.
Like I don't have a specific outfit. I would literally wear all of it.
Yeah. I picked because I've always thought this was very pretty and looked great on her. Diane's like purple top and multicolored scarf.
Oh yeah.
I really like that look on her. I almost picked her robe, Jamie.
I almost picked it too. I have a thing for robes. I love them. I actually didn't, surprisingly, but I made a note of it because it was a good robe. There's so many robes in horror movies. I'm coming to find that there are robes in so many horror movies.
Jamie, I love that hashtag you put on Instagram, pink robes of horror.
Yeah. I kept finding them and I'm like, this is amazing. I never knew there were so many pink bathrobes in horror movies, but I love it.
I love it too. What did you pick for fashion?
So I had a few that I loved, but I will say that my very favorite fashion moment was our girl Zelda, who's the best. Tangina, I think is her name. I love her whole outfit when she's introduced. So she has that really cool silver dress. It has this pink bow on it and the glasses and this cute little purse. Like, she is a mood. I love that whole look so much.
I love it too.
Especially the glasses. Like when she puts them on. Oh, it's just great.
It's so great.
Yeah.
She was so great.
Yeah.
Best hair.
This doesn't concern you, LaFleur.
Not nearly as much as your hair does, that's for sure.
Elena?
Yeah, obviously I'm going to mention it because Nightmare on Elm Street is like, so important to me. But like, it's so ironic seeing Jo Beth Williams with the like Nancy streak, like before it even was made, like in 1984. This is 82. So it's kind of like, did this kind of inspire like something? If I don't know. But yeah, that bit obviously just impacts me way more when I watch it now, because I'm like, oh, inner strength. Oh, she's like Nancy. Oh, this is cool.
you know what else I found interesting? I always found the streak a similarity as well, and this was before Nightmare on Elm Street, obviously. But I really do believe that this influenced Nightmare on Elm Street, because when Mama gets drug across the ceiling,
I noticed that too.
It's very Tina-esque. So we got the Nancy streak, and then a Tina-esque type kill, or situation. Yeah, I definitely believe this was influenced some of those aspects for sure.
Totally.
Yep. My favorite hair was in the first scene with Carol Ann sitting in front of the TV when Diane comes down the stairs, and she has the most glamorous sleeping hair. It's so big and flowing and beautiful, and I wish I could look like that when I woke up, because my hair is always standing straight up on end.
Same. She is just such a goddess. She is such a babe.
Such a goddess.
I love her. She's gorgeous. My favorite hair moment was just Carol Ann's bangs. I love them. They are so cute, and I feel like that look is so iconic for the movie. Just Carol Ann's face with those bangs. So that, bravo.
It is so true.
Yes, I'm pretty sure I had bangs like that when I was a kid. So
my hair was more wavy like Elena's. So I did have bangs, but I think they were more on the shorter side.
Yeah.
And I still do, obviously, but they've gone through many different transitions since then. And then I went through a period without bangs, and it just did not compliment my face. And I said, okay, I'm a bangs girl.
Bangs are a journey. I've had them.
Are a journey.
They're a mess right now because I haven't gotten a haircut in a while, but bangs are a journey. I've gone through several different iterations of bangs. Some of them we'd like to forget ever happened. Some of them were magic. And then a lot are somewhere in the between there.
I used to have the Betty Page bangs, and I had black hair. So they were really short, and so really short and just black hair. And no one else was sporting it, but I thought I did a good job.
Yeah.
We don't say bangs here. We say fringe.
Fringe.
Ooh.
Fringe. Yeah. So
I like that.
Yeah. I did have a fringe when I was a kid, and then I kind of grew out of it that way. But every school photo I have from being in primary school or basic elementary school, it's literally, it's every picture, it was, I'm going to say bangs now. So bangs.
And Elena had the cutest bangs, by the way. I've seen her pictures. She used to put them on the Facebook, and she was just the cutest little girl.
Aww.
I think they say fringe in Serbia too for bangs, because I work with a lot of Serbians at the restaurant, and one of them would say, Alexandra would tell me, she goes, what do you call these? Because we call them fringe. What's that? I was like, bangs. Oh, bangs. Okay. And she also, and it also confused her because, the fringe we would have on a jacket or something.
Oh, sure. Mm-hmm.
She's like, what's that? And that's fringe. Elena, it's the difference between chips and crisps.
Oh God, don't get me started on that.
Yeah, it's so funny because it was this is fringe, these are bangs. So it's just so interesting. That's why I love talking to people from different countries.
Totally.
It's a whole new cultural experience. Okay, prop we would like to own. I'll let Jamie go first.
Oh, this one's always so hard. Okay. I mean, I'm kind of teetering between two. Mm-hmm. One of them is so obvious because it's just such a beautiful piece in this movie. Mm-hmm. And I feel like Summer's definitely going to pick this one. I might be wrong, but
I almost did.
That clown doll is just so beautiful. It's so beautiful. It's one of the most beautiful clown dolls I've ever seen.
It's very pretty.
So pretty. So I think that's it. But I also will say I would love the set of chairs, but only if they moved.
Only if they moved. Okay.
Only if it would move across my kitchen like that.
Or arrange themselves on top of the table.
Exactly.
Well, see, I don't think that would happen, so I'll give you the clown doll.
I'll take it.
What about Miss Elena?
Gosh, there's like so many, but like that clown scene, to be honest,
So
did
good.
actually scare me when I
Me
was
too.
like a kid, seeing that, like just his evil face. So I don't think I would like to have the clown doll just for that aspect. I used to have, like, mom got me this like porcelain doll when I was, I'd say, about 9, and it was up on top of my wardrobe, just like looking at me when I was sleeping. So I think I just carried maybe the Poltergeist clown with me, and I got rid of that doll. So I don't think I would like the clown, but I'm going to say Carol Ann's little rotisserie phone.
Oh, I like that.
That was cool.
That was very cute.
So I'm going to say that.
I mean, of course, I wrote down the clown doll, and I'd love to have a replica of this clown doll. I just, for my birthday, got a replica of the Dead Silence clown doll, and I love him so much, but I would really, really love this clown. I wish they would make a replica of him. Like Trick or Treat Studios needs to get on that. You know, maybe there's a copyright issue or something, they can't do it, but I wish that they would. I did, however, pick something different, because I figured I just got a clown. Do I really need another one right now? I picked, I don't know if you remember this scene, because it's kind of, you only see it for a second. When it's one of the nighttime scenes before all hell breaks loose, and they're trying to figure out what's going on. And Ryan, I think it's Ryan, the African-American ghost hunter, paranormal investigator, whatever, is making a sketch of the ghosts, and it's a beautiful picture. And I adored it. I loved it so very much. I would love to have that framed on my wall. Yep.
It is really cool. Yeah, I remember noting that as well.
Yep. Even more, I would love it if I could have that, track down the actor who played that and have him autograph it, even though he didn't actually draw it. I know, but it was his scene. Yeah.
I was going to say, if I could pick anything else, if you classify it as a prop, I want Zelda Rubinstein's glasses.
That could be a prop.
Totally.
For sure.
Yeah.
For sure. They are pretty sweet.
Oh, they're so cool.
Absolutely. And that happens sometimes. We start talking about things, and then in the moment we're like, actually, I changed my mind. Right?
No, I want them both. Like, I'm just saying.
I'll give you both. No,
honestly, it would be cool to have, like, it would be cool to also have, like, either the rope or the tennis balls, like, in the goo.
The tennis balls. Yeah.
Do you want them with goo?
It has to have goo. Only if it has the goo.
I was gonna say, I'll just write numbers on tennis balls and send them to you, and there you go.
Well, if you can get the purple, like, goo on there, then yeah, send it my way. But it has to have the goo.
I'll send you a package of tennis balls and then a baggie of goo.
Yes.
And then when you go to the post office and they say, is there anything liquid, fragile, perishable, or hazardous? I'm like, maybe.
Yes. Just yes.
Liquid and maybe hazardous. I'm not sure what this goo is made of.
Yeah.
That's amazing. Okay. Special effects. So many amazing effects in this movie, right?
Oh, yeah.
What do you guys have to say, Elena, on effects?
Gosh, like, there, as you just said, there's so many, like, and now that I know, like, that everything back then was, like, virtually done themselves and barely CGI, and know how much effort things go into it. Like, it's way more impressive that way. But I like the scene where Carol Ann gets sucked into the closet. That's really impressive to work as a special effect. Also, you mentioned where he's ripping off his face, and the meat even crawling across the counter. But I love as well when Diane is trying to save the kids at the end, and this big massive thing with, like, legs and teeth is just, like, guarding the door. Like, I love that effect.
That was scary. Like, that
totally
was a scary
scary
monster, right?
Very.
And even just the ghost coming down the stairs, that's beautiful to watch.
It is so pretty. It is so ethereal. It is stunning.
So, yeah, and even the clown, even though I don't like that clown, as I just said, like, I've nothing against him personally, but, you know, it just that scene was the one scene as a kid that I genuinely looked away from, and it was just when he comes up and he's just there behind him after looking under the bed, like, and strength. No.
Yeah,
it scared me as a kid too. It's very scary.
But it's really impressive, special effects wise, just to get the around the neck like, and everything like that.
And I mean, the tree affected me too.
The tree really freaked me out when it's like eating the little boy. Oh my gosh.
Right. So because my mom told me I was scared of clowns when I was a young child, and Jamie, maybe it was the killer clowns that did that to me. Because I was just talking to her on the FaceTime just 2 weeks ago, and I told her the story about me sneaking out into the living room to watch Killer Clowns from Outer Space at maybe about 5 years old. And of course, she had no idea until now. And we were talking about Poltergeist and that we're doing this movie. And I told them that the face of being seen has stuck with me my entire life, but everything else I was fine. And she goes, the clown didn't freak you out because you were really scared of clowns when you were a kid. And I don't remember that at all until she started telling me stories like when we would go to the store for Halloween time and there was a Halloween aisle with all the masks and stuff. She said that really scared me, and it did. I remember that now. And she says that I was even frightened of like the porcelain clown masks, like theater, like the happy, sad clown. She says that even frightened me too. So I was a wuss. Before I started loving horror with Suspiria, I was a wuss. I'm just saying. Like, wow, I'm embarrassed. Other notes I had were, like Elena said, the ethereal, like light effects of the ghosts. Obviously, early CGI, and it looked amazing because some of that early CGI is just awful, right?
True.
The scary ghost in the closet, the skeletons in the pool, of course, amazing. And we all know now that those were real skeletons. The tree through the window and the house disappears. That when that house disappears, like Jamie said, it's kind of amazing. It just folds up into itself. And just
it's like, beautiful.
It's like origami in reverse. Right?
Yeah.
Oh, what else did I write? I loved the forced perspective hallway shot when she's running down the hallway. Mom's running down the hallway, and it appears to grow.
Yes.
One of my favorite scenes, like little shots. It's so gorgeous.
Yeah, do you remember that? That was amazing. And then I mentioned in my notes about Diane getting dragged across the ceiling, like from Nightmare 1. And I do have a fun fact on the stake that Elena talked about, when the stake's just crawling across the counter. By the way, that freaked me out too. I remember that whole scene, the steak, the maggots in the chicken, and then the face, the whole thing. Just did. And the crawling steak was done by using a real steak, which was laid over a slot cut between the tiles. And then 2 wires were fastened to the bottom of the steak. And the special effects operator under the counter would like move the wire so it like stretch and make it crawl.
How cool.
So that's how that was accomplished.
Like, now we can do it from home.
I know, right? Get a fake counter, fake cabinet, hide under it. Well, you know, I was hiding inside cabinets, or I used to when I was like young, limber, and thin. I would get my kicks out of curling up into weird positions and fitting myself into teeny tiny cabinets.
I mean, this has all the makings of a good time then.
Oh yeah, that's what I used to do at work. I just hide inside the cabinet under the sink at Starbucks or whatever when I was working in the Starbucks, and just pop out and freak people out. It's so funny because it was a very small space. You wouldn't think anyone could fit under there, but I contorted like my leg over my shoulder, and I just really like made myself stuff fit in there. Do you have anything else to add on effects, Miss Jamie?
I mean, everything that you ladies both mentioned, I really, really love about the movie. Like, I love the special effects in this. Let me see if there's anything else that we didn't talk about. Everything you guys mentioned, I really love. I also even just liked when like the storm clouds are rolling in. So that was the only other note I had, but great effects all around.
Oh, the storm clouds were really great too. Yeah. That's one thing that this movie really, really, really has done well is all the effects, and they weren't like overdone. It was just enough, right? By the way, the special effects, huge effects team, as if that's any surprise on a Spielberg movie. Jeff Jarvis and Mike Wood. Jose Abel was the animator. Charles Bailey was a model maker. And Craig Reardon was makeup effects, along with 105 other people.
Wow.
Yeah, but those were the guys that were in charge, along in the whole team of folks. So amazing, right?
Oh, to be a fly in that room. Like, it would have been amazing to see them, like, putting this stuff together and kind of figuring out how they're going to do everything. Like, man, what I wouldn't give to just spend a couple hours in that room with them.
I love effects. I really, really love effects. That, like Elena said, that's something that I've always looked at the horror movies under that kind of microscope, where it's like, this is really cool. How did they do that?
Yeah, what a beautiful art form. Like, it really is. So much love and work goes into this. Yeah.
And I think that's why I like dolls so much, doll movies like Chucky and stuff, because not only do I love dolls, but I like inanimate figures coming to life. And how did they do that? How did they make the mouth work? How did they make the eyes work? How did they make it walk? It's so detailed and amazing.
Totally.
Right? Okay, Jamie, cinematography. Now, cinematography was done by Matthew Leonetti. Do you know what else he did?
No.
Santa's Sleigh, which we just talked about last month.
Oh, yay. I was just thinking about that movie yesterday. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Nice.
So we released Santa's Sleigh for number 2 of our Christmas horror series, and he did the cinematography on that too.
This guy's great.
So great. He also did the 2004 Dawn of the Dead and Fast Times at Ridgemont High and Tucker's Witch, TV show from the 80s. I love it. Elena, have you ever heard of Tucker's Witch?
No, I haven't.
It was, I'm not surprised. Not many people have.
No.
It was short-lived. It starred Catherine Hicks and Tim Matheson. And they're like private investigators, but she is a witch, very like Bewitched type, except her husband's in on it. He knows, you know.
I love the plot already.
It's so good. And so it's very like diagnosis murder type hijinks they get into, trying to solve their cases. And it's pretty great. It very, 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 very much feels like Bewitched though, because her mom is there and her mom is also a witch. You know,
but the husband's blonde.
What?
And she's also blonde.
She's also blonde, yes. So, but the husband's in on it the whole time. So it's like Bewitched with a detective theme.
So
it sounds so amazing. I don't know why it didn't last.
It is so amazing. It was early 80s. Probably people weren't ready for it. I don't know what else was on the air at that time. It lasted, I think, maybe 13 episodes, but I still love it. Damn it. I don't care. Fight me. It's so good. But anyway, he did the cinematography on Tucker's Witch too. And the only other thing I really have to add on cinematography, because we had a lot of this stuff, I think, on the effects side with the angles and stuff, but the neighborhood in America, Elena, it's very like classic 80s suburbia.
Totally.
Mm-hmm.
That's really like when in the 80s in California, at least, like that's where you imagine you want you and your family to live and grow up, you know, a neighborhood just like that. So they were really playing on that feel. Right.
Okay.
Do either of you have any contributions to the cinematography?
You know, I do. I love cinematography. So like the framing in this movie is really great. Just like so many shots, you could just take that image and it would be a beautiful picture, just where people are positioned. And when you have there's multiple scenes where you have somebody and just the way the light is cast on them, like really draws your eye to them. There's a great,
it looks natural too. It's like they used like natural light coming from the window, at least how they made it seem.
Yeah.
So it didn't look like a movie.
Exactly. Just the way that they're lit throughout the whole movie. The way that they use lighting is really, really brilliant. And then there's some really great panning shots. I love just like all the different shots of the suburban neighborhood. There's some great scenes of them. I'm trying to remember when it is, but them walking by like a railing or something. So just great light and great framing. I love the cinematography on this movie.
Elena?
Me. Yeah, I also love the lighting aspect of it as well. Just being able to see the characters so clearly, like when the lights are all off and all you can see is the light from the TV. It's like the ability to like illuminate their faces and that effect when the hand comes out. Like it's just, yeah, just beautiful pictures. Exactly what you just said. You took everything out of my mouth.
It's true. I also, hearing you talk about it made me remember, I love the way the scene is framed when Mr. Teague and Steve are walking along the new site for the new houses, and it overlooks, the valley of where he used to live, or where he's living now, and where the cemetery is. And I just love that scene so much and how it looks.
Yeah, it's beautiful.
And that's a very important scene too, because it's when you really start to go, this is what's going on, right?
Yep.
Yes. Okay, now my favorite part of the show, epic line time.
This is going to be totally epic.
The hardest part of the show.
Sometimes it's the hardest, and then sometimes I only have one. I had 6 options here, so I'll let you guys go first, and I'll pick whatever you guys don't. How about Elena?
Okay, well, obviously I'm gonna like jump in and try and do my little like squeaky voice and just be like, y'all mind hanging back? You're jamming my frequency.
That's my favorite. Yeah.
Y'all mind hanging back? You're jamming my frequencies.
Love it.
That's like my favorite one, just because she's so sassy from the get-go, and you just know something's going down now. That one always like stands out to me. Or just, this house is clean. It's
yes.
Like,
This house is clean.
She steals the scene, like every single scene that she's in, she just steals it. That was my favorite line too. It's so good and sassy.
The frequency one or the house is clean one?
The frequency.
I had the house is clean as well, but I did not have you're drowning my frequency. I like that. That's good. Jamie, did you have any other honorable mentions?
Yeah, I had a lot of lines that I liked, but I actually really like when the mom and dad are talking to their neighbor and are asking, have you noticed any disturbances? And he says, what do you mean disturbances? And she says, where'd it go? Oh, like when dishes or furniture move around by themselves. I really liked that too.
Diana, my wife, and I were wondering, Ben, something's funny going on here next door. Something,
We were wondering if maybe you had experienced any disturbances lately.
What kind of disturbances?
Like dishes or furniture moving around by themselves.
I liked in that scene where he's like, any mosquitoes eating on you, son?
Yeah.
I like when he's in front of the mirror and he's like, before, after, before, after, before.
Actually, the whole scene too, where they're getting high together in bed is really, 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 really great. Like I was like, goals. These two are so sweet and like have such fun with each other, and I just like love that whole scene.
Yeah, it. Minus the drugs. It's kind of me and Henry. Like he would. We've had conversations similar to that where we're talking about when we were young and now, like what we look like then and what we look like now. And so the whole before after thing, we've actually like where I'm laying in bed laughing at him. He's like, yep. And I'm like, you're not 12. You're not like 18 anymore. You're a long way from those diving years. We've had that kind of convo. Okay. So we have the iconic line that everyone knows. They're here.
Yeah.
Okay. So I can't pick that because it's like just so obvious. I love towards the end, before the second coming of the ghosts, when they're getting ready to move and, Steve and Diane are having the conversation out by the moving truck before he goes into work. And she's like, how is Teague taking it? And he says, oh, Teague, he won't take no for an answer. And then she goes, what are you going to tell him? And he says, I'm going to give him directions. So I love that,
Yeah.
I tell you what, if the kids get sleepy, just let them conk out till I get home, okay?
How's Teague taking it?
Well, Teague, he won't go to hell for an answer.
What are you going to tell him?
I'm going to give him directions.
So yeah, that's definitely my epic line because it made me chuckle.
Totally.
I also, there was almost a tie because again, it's something that you have when you grow older with somebody. Is about 30 minutes in when she's first explaining the paranormal activity to him. And she's like, now reach back into our past when you used to have an open mind.
No, I think you should sit down, guys.
No. Now just stand. Okay. Now just be calm. Okay. Now reach back into our past when you used to have an open mind. Remember that?
Uh-huh.
Okay. Just try to use that.
I wrote that down too.
Yeah, because that's how it is. It's like you just become older and get jaded, and it's just what it is, growing older. But you've had those experiences with that specific individual.
Mm-hmm. I just think those two have such great chemistry together too. Like every moment between them, I really believe it, and I love it. Like I love their relationship.
Those two actors also worked together a few years before too, so they already knew each other.
Yeah.
So that probably helped, and hopefully they liked each other.
Gosh, I hope so.
It's like,
yeah.
damn, I have to work with this bitch again. Fine. Good epic lines, y'all. Very, very good. I want to talk about some music. So this movie was composed by Jerry Goldsmith, who did everything in the 80s and 70s and 90s. Like Henry and I were actually talking about him when we were talking about the Omen franchise, because he composed that epic theme song for the Omen.
Nice.
We're closing out our holiday season, and he also did Gremlins.
Nice.
Yep. He did Hollow Man, which I love. Not many people love that movie. I adore it. The Haunting. Some of the Star Treks. He did Warlock. I love Warlock. Have you guys seen Warlock?
I haven't seen that one.
No? Oh.
I know of it, but I haven't
Elena, it's good. First of all, Julian Sands is so dreamy in that movie. Okay. But I like it a lot. And then he also did Psycho Part 2. It's my favorite in the Psycho franchise.
I love Part 2.
Yes. I know I should technically say Part 1, but I think Part 2 is my fave.
Part 2 is just so fun. It's really good.
It's so fun. It's so fun.
Cool, yeah.
I love it. And then he did Alien and Valentine.
Oh, I remember that movie.
Right.
I like Valentine.
I love Valentine. And we did that. We covered Valentine for Valentine's Day last year. So I know I've talked about this individual before. So he's done everything. He did sci-fi, he did horror, he did just drama. He's done everything. I just mentioned his horror stuff, and of course Star Trek is iconic, but he's so good. I loved Carol Ann's theme song with the voices and the la la, So yeah, I love it all. I love all the music in this. It doesn't really have any real songs, but all the orchestrations are fantastic. What about you guys? What do you think?
It's beautiful. I really love it creates like the sound, the music is so like eerie and like it's got these like eerie horns and flutes and strings. Like it's beautifully composed and it really like gives it a eerie vibe and mood. I love the music.
Yes.
But also, like, at the same time, like, it kind of just proves that it is kind of directed by two people, because at the same time, you're saying eerie, but I can hear, like, an actual safety kind of family-esque kind of, like, vibe from music that is, like, it's sweet at the same time as being sinister. Like, there's moments where it's, like, you can really tell it's kind of like Spielberg with the family-orientated and, like, stuff like that. So I can say that it is really beautiful and all the aspects of it, like, so Carol Ann's theme, for example, like, it's all just
it's true. And like Elena said, the two different contrasts work so well, because okay, you got your family friendly nice music that make you feel safe, and then it's like Billy likes to say, shit's about to go down.
Yeah, no, you're right. There are some moments that are almost like kind of dreamy, and they're very, it's that very safe kind of family feel. Like in the beginning when they're kind of showing you like the neighborhood and stuff. So it's awesome.
And I love when they set up the neighborhood, like I said, the classic 80s suburbia of what everyone wanted if they had a family back then.
Yep.
So, okay, let's talk about the acting in this, because it was fantastic. It was so good. I'll let you guys give any thoughts you have on anyone, and then I'll give some backgrounds on some of these people.
Sure. Again, I really love the chemistry between the whole family. Like you really buy it. Like their chemistry is really real. What a great family. You know, mom is so brave and like willing to do anything to get save the kids and everything. So in particular, I just love the family's bond. The actors do such a great job of portraying a family. And of course, Zelda is so awesome, iconic. Like I said, she steals every scene that she's in, and I just love her.
And I saw her in a Tales from the Crypt episode with David Warner, and she did the exact same thing.
Oh, fun.
So good. So good. Anything else you want to add, Jamie?
That's it. I mean, great acting all around, but in particular, just love the family bond and love Zelda. And I also love the other woman who comes in. The first one, I can't think of her name right now, but the first woman who comes in and brings Zelda in, I really love her too, because she's like really tender and sweet, and they share like the flask together, her and the mom at one point, and she's just really.
I love in the beginning her hand shaking with the tea.
Yeah, she was phenomenal. Yeah,
she's so good. Elena?
Just to repeat all that, like, all the acting is so good, but what I love even more about it is it's like there's no like overacting. Even though it's like completely off the wall batshit crazy story, they still manage to not like make it unbelievable. It feels like a natural family, and they do what they set out to do, and I guess like it's just challenging as an actor to be able to make it believable, and that's why it's one of my favorites. Even the kids, though, because working with kids can be really complicated, and they're effortless. They're just like, I don't know what it is.
They really do seem like the family, and that's why the movie works. Because if they overacted it, it would be so unbelievable, and it would turn into a comedy, right?
Yeah.
Let's talk about our cast of characters here, starting with Carol Ann, played by Heather O'Rourke. Of course, we all know that she has passed away at 12 years old after filming part 3.
Yeah.
Before that, though, she was pretty accomplished. She did Our House, Rocky Road, Webster, Happy Days, Chips, and Fantasy Island. And it's just so sad that no one knew what was wrong with her. She had like intestinal stenosis, and they misdiagnosed it as Crohn's disease, and they didn't even know what that was back then. So they were just taking guesses. Everything was so new.
Yeah.
And if only there was the knowledge and technology we have now, she'd probably still be alive.
Yeah.
Craig T. Nelson played Steve. Love him. Grew up with him on Coach. Have you guys seen Coach?
Yeah.
It's a sitcom. My grandma used to love it, so I watched it at her house all the time. And Grace and Frankie, that's a newer show.
Oh, I still haven't seen that yet.
That's the one I know.
Yes. So yeah, that's a newer one. And I mean, it's a fantastic, fantastic show. He did Parenthood, The Proposal. Love The Proposal. That movie makes me laugh so hard. Blades of Glory, the figure skating spoof movie.
Oh,
I
yeah.
didn't know that one.
I love that one. And The Skulls, Devil's Advocate, Turner and Hooch. Always makes me
love
laugh.
Turner and Hooch.
Love Turner and Hooch. Troop Beverly Hills.
Yeah.
Again, part of my childhood, and Private Benjamin, among other things. Also, he did write for Coach.
Oh, okay.
And before all that, he wrote for the Tim Conway Comedy Hour, which is like a variety show, and The District. So he does some writing as well. Jo Beth Williams played his wife Diane, and she's just, like you said, a goddess. She is everything. She's so pretty. She's such good, has such good presence, and she's so good at everything she does. She's done everything from sitcoms like Frasier to comedies like Fever Pitch and The Big Chill, and then to dramas like the television show Las Vegas and 24 and Dexter and Private Practice. So she can do it all. Have you guys seen it's a Tim Curry movie called Jackie's Back?
No, but I love Tim Curry and I love her.
It has all-star cast, and it's basically following Jackie, who is kind of like a mock-up of maybe Diana Ross.
Okay.
And she's trying to make a comeback.
Nice.
And she's a total diva. And they have cameos from, I want to say, like 50 different celebrities sprinkled in throughout the entire movie, playing themselves, talking about Jackie, and either they love her or they hate her. And it's kind of documentary style, because
nice.
Tim Curry is the one playing the documentary
Okay.
commentator, and several times he just rolls his eyes and goes, it's so funny. Anyway, Jo Beth was in that as well. Please check it out. It's so fun.
I'm gonna have to check it out.
Yeah,
it was good. It was a made-for-TV movie, though. I think it premiered on Lifetime, maybe NBC, but yeah, it was direct to TV, which is why I'm not surprised Elena would not have had access to it. But we got to find her a way to see it.
Yes,
I can look it up online somewhere.
Oh, please do.
It might even be on YouTube if it's
Maybe.
that kind of like.
Maybe, yeah.
Yeah.
I own it on DVD because I'm a dork. But again, it was part of my upbringing. I saw it and I loved it. So when it was finally released on DVD, I jumped on it. And I think I paid like $3. It was like nothing.
Worth it.
So worth it for me. Jo Beth Williams also directed Frankie and Hazel, Night Visions. And as I said before, also starred with Craig T. Nelson in 1980s Stir Crazy. I cannot speak today. What is going on? I'm having issues. Okay, Dominic Dunn played Dana, and she's another one that has passed away the same year as this movie was filmed. 5 months after Poltergeist's release, she was strangled by her ex-boyfriend.
Yep, that's right.
Which is frightening.
Yeah.
Before that, though, she also did Chips and Hill Street Blues, Heart to Heart, Fame, The Show, and Breaking Away. Oliver Robbins.
So the movie is cursed. So the movie, in conclusion, is cursed.
I don't know, though. Like, that was an unfortunate situation. But only 4 people in the series have died.
Only
throughout the entire run, and 2 of those were, I believe, cancer related. But it was a long-term situation before the movie filmed. But I got notes on that. But But yeah, poor Heather and poor Dana or Dominic.
Yeah.
Oliver Robbins played Robbie, and he had 6 roles until 1986, and then he did one thing in 2008 and one thing in 2019, and that's about it. But he did do a little bit of directing. He directed 2019's The Devil Whisperer and wrote 1999's Eating LA. So he's done a little bit here and there since Poltergeist as an adult. Zelda Rubinstein. She passed in 2010 of a heart attack.
Yeah.
I remember when I got that news. I was like, oh, that's so sad. But she did 57 things on screen, including that Tales from the Crypt episode I just talked about from season 4. I think it was episode 7. She did Picket Fences. She did 1991's Addams Family. One of my favorites, Teen Witch. Teen Witch.
Love Teen Witch, yeah.
Teen Witch. She was so great. There was a series I really loved growing up. It was a fairy tale show. It was called Fairy Tale Theater. And she was in the Dancing Princess's story. And another horror movie I don't know if you guys have seen. It's not as well known. It's kind of more of a cult classic now. It's called Behind the Mask.
Oh, is that like a documentary kind of style? I think I have seen that. Yeah.
Yeah, with Angela Goethals and Robert Englund's in it, and it's so good. I love it. I love it so much. It's so good. Elena's trying to dig back into her.
I'm trying to dig back into my memory because I feel like I might have seen that like at my friend's house, and now I can't like paste it together. But
Yes.
it's ringing bells.
Yes, it's so fun. I love that one. We're gonna have to do that one sometime.
We should.
So that would be amazing. Because I mean, it's fun. And my brother, ironically, my little brother just texted me last night about this movie. He says he's watching it for the first time and he loves it. And he's not like, he doesn't mind horror, but he's not a horror fan. So yeah, his main note on it was it's really good so far, and it's nice to see Robert Englund outside of Freddy. Again, he doesn't know his whole catalog.
Sure.
But yes, so that's fun. That he said that the day before recording this. Jamie, the doctor or the paranormal investigator you were talking about, was played by Beatrice Straight. And she was popular mostly in the 60s, 70s, and 80s on TV, but really nothing much after that. The guy who rips his face off was Martin Casella, and he only has done 7 other acting roles, and he has 2 upcoming projects. But Poltergeist was his first movie, so I thought he sold it.
I really believed he was pulling his face off.
Oh yeah. I love the scene after that night happens, and then Dr. Lish, it was like, Marty won't be coming back, but I will be coming back.
Yeah.
But he's done.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
He's so done. Ryan, played by Richard Lawson. Oh my gosh, he's done so much. He's the guy that I want to get autograph for on that drawing. He was also in Jackie's Back.
Okay.
I know. And he did 115 other roles, including All My Children, First and 10, which I've talked about multiple times on this show because I love it. V with Robert Englund, and MacGyver. And then Mr. Teague, the great James Karen. Oh my gosh. I love this man. I know people who have worked with this man. My friend Brad did a movie with him called America's Most Haunted. And Brad says that he's just was the best person, and is still in touch with his family now.
Aww.
We have talked about James Karen when we did our Piranha episode, but everyone also remembers him from Return of the Living Dead. And he is so good. He was amazing. And to know people that knew him say that he was such a great person really, really warms my heart, because it just sucks when you hear that someone's a prick.
Oh yeah. It kind of
Right?
it shatters you a little bit, because you're like, man, I love this person. It's like, oh, They kick puppies? Like, that sucks. They're the worst. Why?
It's true. No. But
Yeah.
he was genuinely a good person from everyone who had anything to say about him, and not famous people, just regular people who don't have anything to gain or they don't want to ruin their reputation. So I believe it all. Alrighty. Okay. Aging. How well has this movie aged?
It's definitely a time capsule. I mean, there's nothing but giveaways as to what era this movie is from.
Right. Elena, any comments on that?
I think it depends on what kind of style of horror the fan is looking for.
Mm-hmm.
Like, if you have an appreciation for the older type of movies,
Mm-hmm.
then I think it's timeless and you'll always appreciate it. But then there's the fans who are just newer generation and can't stand any of the old stuff and think it looks really crappy and
Mm-hmm.
you know, like from what they're used to and what
Mm-hmm.
they can see now. And they're over sensitized to CGI and thinking
Mm-hmm.
like everything is so much more better. So in my heart, I think it's timeless because like I love all the old stuff, but I guess it just depends who you ask or what you're looking for.
Yeah, I mean, it definitely looks like an 80s movie, but I don't think that that's a bad thing.
Same. No, I think that it's something that generations and generations and generations have loved ever since it's come out, and like will continue to love. But you're right, like a particular type of person. But yeah, it's a great film, and I think people will always have like a love for it.
Oh yes, kind of like Gremlins, where it's also has that kind of feel, but it's still perfect even now. Have you guys seen the remake of Poltergeist?
No.
I watched about 10 minutes and I got angry, so I turned it off.
It's true. Oh, I watched the whole thing and I got angry. I wasted my time. And it broke my heart because I love Sam Rockwell so much.
I do too.
Yeah. And we talked about this, Jamie, on our live stream where, you know, I love this actor. I love him. He's so good in almost everything. And I don't blame him for Poltergeist, but it wasn't good. It wasn't good at all.
Yeah.
Maybe it was just a paycheck movie.
Yes. I mean, they tried, but the finished product was not great. And maybe that's just me. Maybe it's just because I love the original so much, I can't let another one in.
Yeah, but also it did kind of feel like darker and like unnecessarily kind of, I don't know, I just didn't get the same vibe off it. Like, I know what you're saying that they did try, but I didn't like it. Like, I'm literally saying 10 minutes. I got really angry. I was like, I'm not sitting through this, and not to bring it up, but like the same thing happens with majority of remakes. And for me, like Nightmare on Elm Street in 2010, no, it's like, no, why?
That's
why
my least favorite remake ever.
I haven't been able to bring myself to watch it. I
saw
can't do it.
In the cinema, and I just remember thinking, no. It's like, and I haven't watched it since.
I saw it when it first came out on DVD, and I rented it from the library like I do, and I was appalled. I was just like, oh. But I'm thinking, because it's been a while since it came out, maybe I'll give it another chance. I'll try to watch it again. And if I'm still no, I'll stick by my viewpoint that it is the worst remake I've ever seen. But if I can find any redeeming quality in it, I'm like, okay, I wasn't ready to let it into my life right then.
Yes.
What really, really irked me about it, though, was the effects. The CGI overkill, Freddy's face, just, it didn't do it for me. I need my practical effects. I do.
Yes.
The twist on this movie, I suppose, is, well, first of all, that their house is buried on top of a cemetery, or built on top of a cemetery. But also, when you think everything is done and over with, and this house is clean, it's not. It's not at all. Do y'all have anything else to add on that?
I think that those are the twists, you know, and Of course, I like the moment of reveal, when Steve, the dad, is talking about you took the headstones, but you didn't move the bodies.
Mhm.
It's a great moment.
Such a great moment. It's such a good
But
moment.
also the kind of like twist aspect as well of thinking that the ghosts were kind of good in a way, like as in like they were kind of minding her, they were just her friends, and then to realize that it's not. It's like it's the beast. It's like the devil. It's like any evil aspect that it was like tricking her. That always like makes the hair stand up on my neck to know that like it's like taking advantage of an innocent child, like suckering her in to make her feel like it's safe and like good and stuff. And yeah, I guess that was like twist it that way.
Mm-hmm. True.
Totally.
That happened early on. So you have 3 different twists, right?
Mm-hmm.
The pacing on this movie, I mean, it was great. It was great. So, I mean, I just watched a movie, and it was not good, and I wanted it to be good so badly, but it was about half an hour too long.
Mm-hmm.
It had a bunch of scenes that really, really, really did not to be there. I think they just threw them in for tits and ass purposes. That had nothing to do with the story. Like literally nothing to do with any of the story. So it could have been taken out and been a better movie for it. But it was an hour and 40 minutes. I'm like, this could have been like Thanksgiving or Silent Night, Deadly Night, where it's an hour 15 and be a great movie.
Yeah.
Because this one is super long, but it doesn't feel like it's as long as it is.
Everything
like
that's in there
is necessary. Yeah.
Yes, should be there.
Yeah. You never like feel that like kind of fatigue where you're in a movie that should end already, and you're feeling that fatigue. You don't feel that with this movie. You're like along for the ride the whole time.
Yeah. And like I said, with the movie I was just watching, I'm like, what's the point of this story? There is no point. Like, who are these people? I didn't care about the characters. I didn't care about the story. Like, what's the point? So this movie was not that. This movie is great on the pacing. Scary. I'm giving this for scary. Oh, I'm giving this a good, I'm going back to my childhood, but I'm going to give this 6.
Wow.
Mm-hmm. I mean, for a movie to have that kind of effect on me until now, when nothing else scared me back then, nothing. Elena, I would watch all this gore. I'd watch every horror movie I could get my hands on every weekend. It was a horror fest. And this is the one for that one scene alone that got me. So I'm giving it a 6. 1 from 10, 10 being the scariest. What about you, Elena?
Well, that's interesting that you went back to your childhood, because I think I'm going to do that too, because as you progress and you see things that, you're braver, you see the different aspects. But for me, when I first saw it, I was virtually nearly, well, not the exact age of like Carol Ann or Robbie, but I was close enough to understand from a child's point of view that, Jesus, this thing takes children. I'm kind of like scared at that aspect of that. So from watching it as a kid, like it seems that scary, but for now, it still kind of stays with you, because Poltergeist, like, I don't know how spiritually inclined you guys are, but I believe in like all spirituality and ghosts and stuff, and I've had my own experiences, not to go too deep into that, but it could physically happen to like somebody, like with a poltergeist, so it still is going to be timeless in the aspect of a scare factor to me. So from those 2 things, I would say 7.
Yeah. How about you, Miss Jamie?
And I don't get scared of stuff too often. This movie scared me when I was a kid, for sure. And there are still parts of this movie that even in my last rewatch for this episode made me feel like, just like the fear when like you're kind of getting it revealed that it isn't a nice presence that's necessarily with her. Like, I'm right there with the mom. Like, I don't know, just like their fear really hits me still. So I would have to say I'm gonna give it like a 6 on the scare level. Yeah. It still like gave me kind of like goosebumps at a couple points. Just that like, the realization of like what Carol Ann is dealing with and just what this family is going through. It's still scary.
It is so true. And Elena, Jamie and I, every movie that we watch on the scary rating is basically a 0 for us.
Okay.
Right?
Yeah, we're like not scared of anything.
We don't even rate it because we're like, so what? So for any of us to give this anything higher than a 1 or a 2, it's kind of a big deal.
And it also goes to show you, you know, it's not like an extremely like graphic movie or an extremely like gory movie or anything like that. Like they build that fear through like the acting and the story and everything else. It doesn't have to be like that stuff doesn't scare me, you know, but like what happens in this movie does.
Right. So, I mean, mine was gore related, totally gore related, but but other gory movies that I saw did not get to me. So I don't know why this one was so different. Right. I have no idea why I felt that way about this one, but not seeing people get ripped apart in all the other movies or getting limbs sawed off. Well, that, okay, no big deal. Someone rips their face off. Oh no. Oh no. Okay, let's talk about the Poltergeist curse for a second. Jamie, you're aware, right?
What's up?
The Poltergeist curse, you know about it?
Oh yeah. I actually I have Shudder and they have this really great show called Cursed Films. Yeah, and every episode they feature a movie that, you know, has a cursed kind of history, and so they have an episode on Poltergeist.
That is so cool. I don't have Shudder, but damn it, one of my
I don't either. I link you. I stream everything.
Yeah.
But yeah, I definitely watched that episode. In particular, like it has a list of them, and I went straight to the Poltergeist one.
Right.
Yeah.
Is The Omen on there?
Yes. The Omen's on there. The Twilight Zone movie is on there. The Exorcist.
Awesome.
I think that's it. It's like 6 or 7 episodes.
So what are your guys' feeling on the curse? Real, fake, coincidence, not? Elena?
God, like I don't even know. Like everything happens for a reason, as I said, and it just seems like too much of a coincidence to just like I'm not sure if it's just the actual movie or maybe it was just, you know, one of those things where they were messing with the wrong thing at the wrong time, because I'm very spiritual in that way, and poltergeists, as I said, are an actual thing that can happen. So I just I feel like maybe something at the wrong time was disrespected, and it could have been like something as simple as that, like to manifest in your own life, to, you know, as an illness or something. I'm not saying they actually deserved it. I'm just saying that it just seems like it's unexplainable. Like, you know, it's Superman and everything like that. Like, it's weird that certain movies attract certain things. And yeah, I really kind of believe maybe there was some aspect of this. Like, I heard the rumor, and I know Jamie will say it because she saw the episode, but he tries to debunk the thing about using real bodies for the pool. Yep. And he literally says, you know, like, that's a bunch of shit. Like, it's basically, yeah, basically, I don't think it's cursed because of the, you know, all this stuff. But yeah, I just feel like maybe there was something pissed off at the wrong time, and I'd like to believe that there is something bigger than all of us that could have done this. I really do. So that's my say.
What about you, Jamie?
Yeah, so I don't know. It's, you know, it's hard for me to decide what I think about it. Yeah. Because, you know, it's so many things where it's like, it's hard to see it as a coincidence because it's all tied to this one, you know, movie. I don't know though. I don't know. It's hard for me to say it's cursed necessarily, but there's a lot of wiggy stuff that happened with this movie, and some of it, you know, a lot of it's tragic. So I don't know. I'm undecided, but it's a lot of wiggy stuff for one, you know, situation, for one movie with so many people.
What does wiggy mean?
Like weird, like strange, and bizarre. Wiggy.
Yeah, like I said, I love that. I love it when she'll ask me, "What does that mean?" or when I have to ask her, "What does that mean?"
Yeah, strange.
So yeah. I've changed my mind not recently, but since the curse was a thing. Now I haven't seen the documentaries, or the show, so I need to watch that. But I did see other documentaries like 20 years ago on it too. But I used to want to believe that the curse was real because I like that stuff. Okay. And I like to think that there is something like Elena said, something that was stirred up, because I just like that. And I like to believe in that sort of thing because I find it enjoyable. Call me strange. But I mean, like I said, the Poltergeist series from 1982 through 1988 didn't have that much death around it, I want to say, because people die every day, and if you don't know about it, if they're not famous or if they weren't associated with a cursed movie, you would never hear about it. So maybe this was just a situation where it was just a coincidence. And also, like, the Dominic Dunn situation was just horrific. Like, that was a crime. Like, what was wrong with that guy? Was he into some shady shit that made him, go crazy and do these terrible things, satanic shit? Or was he just a really bad person? So that's a question that I've also had. Now, Julian Beck, who played Reverend Henry Kane in Poltergeist Part 2, he was already very, very sick when he did this movie. And I think he died before it even came out of cancer. So he was already sick. And that's why he looked how he looked, because he was basically walking death when he was filming it. So that was already in play before he ever started the movie. Will Sampson, who played Taylor the Indian in Poltergeist 2, he had complications from a lung heart transplant in 1986. Again, he was already having issues before he was approached to do this movie.
Sure.
So these were like pre-existing conditions. However,
the movie tipped them over the edge.
Right. Could be. But I mean, Julian Beck was already basically dead. I think he did this movie knowing that he only had a couple months left, so let's make him count. And boy did he.
Oh yeah.
He knew he was gone. And it's obvious when you look at him that he looks ill. So he knew he wasn't coming back, unfortunately, because he was very, 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 very good. But I mean, the Heather O'Rourke one is probably the most tragic because, she was sick and no one could find out what was wrong with her.
Yeah.
And that's
very sad.
Yeah, and that happens so much in the medical field with a new disease. Oh, this is what's wrong with you. Nope, never mind. This is what's wrong with you. Nope, never mind. This is what's wrong with you. That happened to my dad several times. Oh, it's cancer. No, it's ulcers. No, it's Crohn's. No one knows. And it's just try something and see if it works. But but she was involved in the series from the very beginning. So she could be totally part of that because she was there from the beginning. But the other two from Part 2, they were already sick before they even got this movie. So that's why I'm like, probably not with them, but maybe Heather O'Rourke, yes. So I think maybe it's person specific. Maybe, right?
That could be.
Yes. And then, of course, we have our actors that are still alive and kicking, like Jo Beth Williams and Craig T. Nelson and Tom Skerritt and Nancy Allen. So, yeah. I want to think that it is just a series of really horrible coincidences, except for maybe with Heather.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I feel like another thing, this is like going to sound really funny, but you left out another actress from Part 3, Lara Flynn Boyle from Twin Peaks.
Oh, yeah.
I feel like I think that it's definitely cursed because she ruined her face.
Well, that's Hollywood.
True.
That's Hollywood. And that is also very, very unfortunate.
Yes, it is. Yes, it is.
Honestly, seeing people like that who have had plastic surgery and it doesn't end up so well, or have had too much of it. I used to be very, very unhappy with my features, my nose or my chin or whatever. And I still am, but I'm not unhappy enough to take a risk to make it worse.
Same.
So Yeah, definitely. Okay. Overall movie rating. As a movie as a whole, I'm going 8, man. This is so good. 1 to 10, Elena.
Yeah, 8.
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna say an 8 as well. Actually,
Woo!
$8.
It's unanimous. $8 and a clown.
Yep. And a really scary tree.
A really scary tree. $8 a clown and one really scary tree. All right, guys, it's fun facts time.
This is your opinion?
It's a fact.
Whoop, whoop.
I have a lot. There's a lot. And I had to pick and choose what I wanted because some of what I found, again, I found all this on the internet. So if it's not true, I'm sorry, because it's the internet. So I printed out pages and I highlighted what I thought was interesting. So, but there's a lot of pages. So I was really trying to be choosy. So are y'all ready?
Yeah, ready.
All right.
Ready.
Heather O'Rourke kept the pet goldfish that she has in the film.
Aww.
Uh-huh. Drew Barrymore was considered for the role of Carol Ann, but he wanted somebody that looked more like Heather. So he got her for E.T. instead. Both of the terrors that plague Robbie, the clown and the tree, are Steven Spielberg's own fears as a child.
Awesome.
Mm-hmm. The house used to film in the movie was in Simi Valley, California, and it still stands today. And the family that owned it sold it in May of 2009. And it is such a pretty house.
It is. I hear that lots of people still swing by there to take pictures and stuff. So people who've lived there, over the years or whatever, are pretty used to people swinging by to take selfies and stuff.
I'd be all about it. I'd be like, yeah.
I don't know when the documentary series was made. I didn't check the date, but they said there as well that people are always coming by to take pictures of the house. But they also pointed out the fact that they did build a pool. So, that would be the first thing that I would do is hop over the fence and just be like in the pool.
Oh, dear. Yeah, that could be problematic.
Right?
Do you think, did they build the pool because the ground was already tore up?
Maybe.
Or was that...
They're like, hey, it's already on its way. Let's, come on.
Or was that section part of a soundstage? Could be either way. But if the ground's already tore up, then why not?
Yeah.
Yeah, just leave it. We're going to finish the job. There is a jump cut from the scene where Diane is explaining to Steven about the feeling you get when the spirit pulls you. And the scene jumps mid-sentence to a scene where you hear both of the neighbors on the doorstep, And the reason they cut it that way was because the original scene, Steven says how he hates Pizza Hut, but Pizza Hut took offense. Because, they were talking about getting pizza.
Yeah.
Right.
So
that always annoyed me as well. I'm glad that you brought that up because I thought it was just my copy or something. And I've seen it so many times since that I'm like, did I skip a paragraph of dialogue or whatever? It just doesn't make sense. It just it clicks.
Yep. So
yeah. I noticed it too. Yeah.
Yeah. Obviously, that's all they could do because they'd already filmed and edited the movie when Pizza Hut saw it and said, "Oh no."
Idiots. They could have got so many more customers. That movie was probably a hit.
Right.
So.
That's what I'm saying. Right. Why wouldn't they want to get their name thrown out into Poltergeist? Regardless of, if whatever he's saying, if their name is coming out of his lips, in that movie, come on.
Yep. Agreed. Yeah, but that's your reason, Elena. And I didn't know that you had questions about that. So that's very, very cool.
Oh.
There was a direct TV commercial in 2008. Have you seen it, Jamie?
No.
Elena, DirecTV is like a cable network here.
Okay.
And it parodies Poltergeist. And Craig T. Nelson is in it, playing Steve Freeling, complaining to Carol Ann and the audience that the static TV set is just bad cable reception. And quips, not getting rid of cable. That's going to haunt me. And
Fun.
Heather O'Rourke's family were pleased that she was mentioned too. So they weren't like, oh my gosh, that's bad taste. They were happy about it.
Aw.
Yeah. When Diana's blow drying her hair on the dresser in the background, there is a row of family photos after the cutaway to Robbie and the clown, and Diane gets attacked. If you look closely at the photos, the background of the middle picture of Carol Ann has changed to a demonic creature.
Oh.
I love little Easter eggs like that.
I do too. I'm going to have to watch it again and look for that.
James Cairn at the time was the commercial spokesperson for Pathmark Supermarkets, and he received hate mail from this movie. People saying that they would stop shopping there because of how the character treated the Freelings.
Oh.
And he's
so
like,
it was in protest of the way that the family was treated.
Yeah, he's like, I'm not really that guy.
It's a character. They're lovely people. I love them.
It's true. I didn't really do it.
Yeah.
There's a clip on YouTube. I don't know if you guys have seen it. Is it Universal Studios or something? They actually built the exact replica of the Poltergeist house as a ride. And you can go through it. I'll have to send you because they really, really went to town on being accurately, so accurate in depicting each room. And
they do the best.
Yeah, I'd say it's on YouTube. I watch it numerous times. And like the things that they have are from the movie. And you'd feel and the music from the movie is blaring throughout the whole house. It's so cool.
I hope
field trip, girls. We should go.
I hope it's still there, not just a part of their Halloween program.
Yeah, no, it's the exact house. Like it's like the exact house.
And they have a Psycho house too.
Oh,
yeah,
how fun!
Mm-hmm. Oh my god! I gotta go.
When you said parodies as well, like I think it's been done a few times. Like it's homaged, and even like in like cartoons. Like I love that episode of Family Guy. I don't know if you guys have seen it. Like
I haven't seen the episode. I know the show.
Yeah, there is a really funny episode that is literally Poltergeist.
Yes, and of course we all know the Scary Movie parody too.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. I think that's the most famous one. The inspiration of the story comes from an actual occurrence in Denver, Colorado in the late 1800s. When Denver was expanding, there was a graveyard where the city government wanted to put houses like New York City built, and they wanted it to be kind of like Central Park of the New York City. And they relocated the cemetery headstones, but they did not relocate the bodies.
Rookie mistake.
Yep.
Mm-hmm. The clown puppet used in the film is on display in Planet Hollywood inside of Caesar's Palace, Las Vegas. I wonder if it's still there.
I was going to say that episode, the documentary says that some guy bought it.
Yeah, like I said.
That's right.
I wonder,
his, like, display.
Because I heard in an interview with Sean Clark that I don't remember what he was talking about exactly, whether he had the opportunity to buy it or he wanted to and it was sold. But so I heard that was a thing, which is why I was like, how old is this fact that I'm reading off of the internet? There's no dates on these.
So in saying that, like when I watched the episode, like and he says it's the actual clown, to me it did kind of look a bit different, like as in like it didn't have the blue colors. It was more kind of red and like white. Like it, he said it was the original, but it didn't look like the original to me.
Yeah, I kind of remember that too. Yeah.
Yeah. Also, maybe colors have faded or changed. Like blue maybe turns to gray over time. Like, and also for example, the real Chucky doll, the original Chucky doll, because of the material that's used and it's been exposed to elements, it's black now. It's basically gray black, the skin on original Chucky. It turned.
I think I've seen a picture.
Yeah, the latex turned.
Yeah.
Over time, over 30 years. So yeah, so maybe something happened to the material on the clothes or it changed. Apparently, the word poltergeist is German for noisy ghost. I haven't fact checked that. This was the highest grossing horror film of 1982.
I could definitely believe that.
Yeah.
And it was the 8th highest grossing horror film for the entire, no, 8th highest grossing film period of all genres for the entire year of 1982.
Awesome.
Well, that's pretty exciting.
Mm-hmm.
The line "there here" was voted as the number 69th most quoted American movie lines.
Wow.
Mm-hmm. Zelda Rubinstein filmed her episode in 6 days. Excuse me. In addition to the 2 times that the Beast appears in the movie, in the closet and in the kid's door, the script had it appearing in another scene where the family and investigators are looking at the tape. And in that scene, they had originally planned for the ghost they saw to visually, slowly resolve itself into the face of a cruel old man known as Reverend Henry King. So it didn't make the cut, but wouldn't that have been cool?
Yeah.
Oh, it made a lot more sense because it's like this guy just shows up for no reason in part 2. And you're like, who's this creepy old man?
Right, exactly. And Elena and I actually, we had a back and forth on Facebook of Henry Kane's lines, and I just started singing the song.
Yeah.
Remember?
Yeah. Are you scared, child? Can I sing you a song? You want me to sing you a song? Like, I'm sorry, but like he scares the living shit out of me. Like I can overcome the clown. I'm like, I'm so brave now. But, like the fact that like it just makes it worse that the poor man was sick and virtually dead.
Yeah.
Like doing that, it's just even creepier. Like, no.
Yeah.
Yep. I think it's also very beautiful though, because he had a legacy.
Oh,
you know?
yeah.
Oh, yeah.
And it's not a movie that faded away.
Nope.
So he has his legacy. Zelda Rubinstein auditioned for her part of Tangia 4 times.
Oh.
And she's so good. How come they made her come back 4 times?
Maybe they were just like enjoying it so much that they're like, let's make her do it again. And another time too. And one more.
And again.
Like was she literally written in as her size, like as that, like maybe she like went completely against what they were looking
against
for,
type.
And they were just like, you know what? Okay, let's keep.
Fine. We'll make her 4 foot tall. Okay. Stephen King was briefly approached to write the screenplay. Can you imagine how differently it would have been written if Stephen King wrote it?
Yeah.
There would have been a lot more religious aspects in it for sure. You know that.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
This one I found interesting. Dr. Lesh, the female investigator, played by Beatrice Straight, makes a point that the paranormal activity at the Freeling home is probably a poltergeist, not a haunting, since poltergeists are typically associated with a person and a haunting is associated with a place. However, the assessment is, when they find the graves, that is incorrect because it's built on top of a cemetery. So that means the haunting is not a poltergeist, it's a haunting.
That's true.
I've never thought about
had that kind of. Yeah, I never thought about it either.
But since they talk about it happening because it's on a haunted ground.
But I think it could be both because the poltergeist takes a liking to Carol Ann and just takes her as a person. So I think
maybe there's just a whole lot of different kinds of ghosts going on around in there.
Both
That's
aspects.
kind of what it felt like.
I like that.
Yeah.
Maybe the great battle for Carol Ann was between the ghosts and the poltergeists. Maybe there was 2 wars going on inside the TV that we don't know about.
Could be.
Meanwhile, she just wants to get out and come home.
For sure.
Oh, the scene which Marty hallucinates in the bathroom, was the last scene to be filmed.
Oh,
nice. That's a great way to end a filming.
I know, right?
It's awesome.
Apparently, Zelda Rubinstein was a medium and psychic in real life.
I heard that.
Mm-hmm.
That makes me so happy.
Right?
Yeah.
She must have been having so much fun in Teen Witch.
Oh, right.
Yeah, I love that so much. This is the most commercially successful of the Poltergeist trilogy. Not surprising.
I could see that.
Okay, Jamie, this one's good. Okay, so Poltergeist: The Legacy, 1996, the television show. You know, it focuses on paranormal, whereas it doesn't really talk about the movies. It has nothing to do with the movies. It's just about paranormal. Our friend Billy was in an episode of that show.
Really? Oh,
Uh-huh.
Billy. Oh, that's
Billy.
cool.
Oh, Billy.
In season 3. And I believe he told me that he played some sort of neurological disorder or something, where he had to actually go and study the physical mannerisms of the symptoms.
I'm gonna have to watch that. Oh,
Yeah.
Billy.
Yeah,
That's
our friend
cool.
Billy, repeat guest on the show, was in the show. So
Cool.
we love Billy. Billy's the coolest.
That's true. Hey, Billy.
Hey, Billy. And
Hi, Billy.
Hi, Billy. And finally, the last thing, the Freeling car is a 1981 Oldsmobile custom cruiser. The end. Because I like cars. I'm into cars, especially when I know people who had like that exact car, or we maybe had a car that's in a movie. It just makes me feel nice. All right, that's all I got for Poltergeist. Do you guys have anything else to add on the movie?
Just a classic. This is one that like I could watch anytime. I've watched it tons of times. I never get tired of it. If any of you listeners have not seen it yet, you should get on that. It's really great. I feel like it's, a movie you got to see because it's just wonderful. I love that family. The mom makes me feel very safe and taken care of and protected, and I love that. Like, it makes me feel warm and fuzzy.
She's such a good mom.
Yeah.
She's such a good mom. And to quote our friends Wes over at It's a Horror Podcast, if you haven't seen this movie by now, what the hell's wrong with you? He likes to say that.
Yeah.
Okay, it is shout out time. First of all, we need to shout out our guest, Miss Elena Tully. I love you. Thank you for taking the time. I know the time difference is quite extreme, but I'm so happy you're here. And you're such a dear friend to me. It's so exciting to have you finally on the show.
Oh, thanks for having me, Summer and Jamie. I love you too, and I love you too, Jamie. I don't know you as well, but I like you after this.
Likewise. I hope we do this again soon because it's been really fun. Yeah.
And the great thing about doing the show is, it creates new friends. Like now, Jamie, now you're friends with Billy, and now Jamie, you're friends with Elena.
Yes.
So, and Jamie, I'm going to be friends with your director friend, or who you told me about, or actor, one of the two. I can't remember.
Yes.
And then we were introduced to one of Jesse's friends who was on the show. So, I mean, it's such a great experience to do the show and meet all the different people.
I love that too.
That we would not have gotten to meet maybe otherwise. Elena, do you have any shout outs before we move on?
I guess, I would like to say at least one shout out to my co-host, rather host of the podcast that I've been involved with, and so lucky to have got that position in the last while. So Jonathan Steele, I would like to say thank you so much again for making me co-host, and I hope I can contribute in a positive way to our show. And I guess shout out to the people of Ireland, and I hope that everybody is maintaining hope in these unknown times. And I guess, the luck of the Irish to everybody. And thank you so much for having me on the show.
And Elena, your podcast that you were brought on to co-host is called what?
Crazy Train Radio.
There we go. And I've listened to some episodes. They have some fun interviews on there. And Elena's a rock star. So go check it out because Elena is amazing on that show. For real.
Oh,
Yes. Next, we have our producer, Mr. Jesse Randall.
Hello.
Get up here, Jesse. Hey, Jesse.
Hi.
Hi. How you doing, boo?
I'm doing well, and I'm also very equally excited that Elena was here because she's our first international guest. So
I know.
wow.
She is.
So,
Yeah.
yes.
I'm so honored.
So that in and of itself is very exciting, and I wanted to again. Usually, what I like to do is when you guys are talking, just in general, and something comes up. 9 times out of 10, I will forget by the time that you bring me on, and then it just never gets talked about. But I actually wrote it down this time. So 2 fun facts of mine. Well, one is just the so poltergeist meaning noisy ghost. I mean. The word poltern is the infinitive for rumble, like to rumble or whatever. I haven't really used it a lot in common language. I mean, I don't speak German very well. I speak it okay, but yeah, like that's so I thought that was a cool etymology when you looked it up. I was like, what is that word? That because Geist I know means ghost. I just didn't know how they derived the first part of it.
Actual translation is rumble ghost.
Well, sort of like the infinitive.
I love that.
Poltern. I would just say the infinitive poltern means to rumble, so that's where it comes from, or like to cause a ruckus, basically. And the other fun fact is that the very first car I owned when I was 16 years old was a 1984 Custom Cruiser station wagon, which had so many more perks than the 81 version, I'm sure, like wood paneling on the side and enough right. What I loved the most about that car was that it was so fucking big that I could legally fit 9 people in that car. Like there were literally 9 seats for there was 3 bench seats, one in the front, one in the middle that was facing the rear, facing the drivers, and then one in the back that was facing the outside or facing the rear rather. And what you could do is you could fold down the middle and the back seats, so you basically had all of this space. You could buy basically like 8 years worth of groceries and put them in there in the back. Like it was a gigantic vehicle. So when you said 81 Custom Cruiser, that just brought a flood of memories back. I'm like, that is a huge vehicle, and I love that was the first car that I ever owned when I was 16 years old. So
that's funny, Jesse, that those are the 2 fun facts that you thought about. I knew you'd think about the German one because I know you, but those were the 2 fun facts I was considering not talking about. Because I was just like, whatever. Wow. And given that you have some personal relations to both of those things, I'm glad I did. My grandma,
me too.
My grandma had a station wagon very similar to that, except hers was, you had your front seat, then you had your middle bench, and then in the back by the rear, by the hatch, there were 2 bench seats, and they faced each other, and then there was the window. So window, and then 2 bench seats.
Oh, wow.
Right here.
Okay.
And that's where all of us kids hung out. We could squish 3 of us little kids on each bench, and she had a lot of foster kids, and so when we were all going to church or whatever, it was just okay, pile into the station wagon. So I have a personal relationship with station wagons as a kid as well. Okay, so that's why I mentioned it. But yeah, I mean, I love your story. That's great.
And that car was basically like I would go to the gas station and fill it up, and like that would last me like 2-3 days. Like the gas tank, like that thing was the biggest gas guzzler on the planet. So it was not exactly a cheap vehicle to own, but
right. Yep.
What are you gonna do?
Well, Jesse is our producer, and we love and adore him, and he makes us sound great. So thank you so much, Jesse, for everything that you do.
Oh, absolutely, and it's a pleasure, and I love doing it, and it's great to be able to do it on a regular basis. So.
Yes. Next up, we have the Saturday Night at the Movies podcast. We love them, so keep doing what you're doing. I just started binge listening to their episodes again because I took a little break from podcasts, really, because I didn't have time. And so I listened to like 4 of their episodes in one day. It was great.
Nice.
Elena, I listened to 4 of your episodes in one day too. Not yours, but like a mixture of yours and the previous episodes before you were on. So yeah, I've just been binge listening to all these podcasts I've fallen behind on. So, and I didn't even know Elena was co-hosting until she'd been doing it for a little while, and she told me, like, oh my gosh, I can't wait to listen.
I can't wait to listen to you. I'm definitely going to check it out.
It's amazing. Of course, we have to shout out our listeners. We love you. Thank you. Happy New Year. This is now going to be 2021, and hopefully it's better than 2020, and we all get to see each other in person again soon. Especially Elena, who's stuck over there in Ireland.
Yeah, maybe you guys can come over to me.
Well, Henry does. Henry really wants to go to Ireland too. So it's definitely on the bucket list for sure.
I love to travel to visit friends. So yeah, let's do it.
Yup. Maybe 2022 we can make that happen. I don't think 2021 is still going to be a little dicey because they're still trying to figure things out. But maybe 2022 we can all just hop over to Ireland and see Elena. Just the side in Dublin, drink some beer.
Yeah, more like see Galway. Dublin may be the capital, but Galway is where it's at. Like Galway is just a really great city. We actually got voted the capital of culture this year, and we were going to have all the stuff, but everything got thrown in the shitter. And all the money was spent on all these artistic things that we couldn't go through with. So that was like so sad. But Galway is on the west coast, and if you drive like about 40 minutes from where I am, that's where you can see all the stereotypical cottages and green fields and sheep, and people speak the native language there. So it's like all of that Irish stuff is where I'm from, whereas Dublin is more the commercial, bigger buildings,
touristy.
Sure.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I was telling Elena that I was watching a horror movie filmed in Galway. I think it was there. I don't know why I would have told you otherwise, but I mean, I think it was like
just for the sake of it. I just told you.
Right. I mean, I remember specifically telling you watching a movie filmed in, I don't think it was Ireland in general. I think it was Galway.
I want to say it was some kind of sequel to Warlock.
Yeah, that sounds about right.
Aww.
Because I was going through a sequel binge of Warlock and Wishmaster, all their sequels.
Oh, okay.
But I'm pretty sure that's Warlock. I'm pretty sure it was maybe part 3 or part 4. Mm-hmm. So, yeah, so it was very exciting. Like, I know someone there.
Aww.
Yeah. Shout out to, of course, our podcast mentors, the It's a Horror podcast, who I spoke of earlier. We love you guys. Keep doing what you're doing.
You guys are awesome.
And they're one of our biggest supporters and continue to be. So they are so amazing. They're still working on their director series. And I cannot wait until they have a new... I can't wait to hear what their new subgenre is going to be. So, because there's so much great things in horror. And shout out to Jamie. I mean, Jamie, my lovely co-host. Who's my hero. I mean, you make this so much fun. I couldn't do it without you.
Oh, shucks. You know I love you too, and I feel the same way.
All righty. I think that's all I got. Do you have anyone else you want to shout out, Jamie?
You know, just shout out to everybody in this live stream right now. Shout out to the viewers. Shout out to my boyfriend David for helping me set up my little sound studio that I have in the back of my house. He hung up blankets for me and stuff to cancel out some of our echo.
I love David. I don't know David, but I love David. Thank you.
Yeah, he's the best.
He really is. He really, really is. We've had some scheduling conflicts, and Jamie has been so kind to say, yeah, whatever you need, whenever is good for you. And I know David's like, really?
He's a big supporter of the show. So he's always like, yeah, do your thing.
Yeah, I love
so I'm like, I'm waking up at 7. I'll see ya.
Thank you, David, for letting me take your lady friend away for a little while. Anyone else?
I think that's it. I think I got everybody. I mean, and also shout out to my best friend, Samantha Gardner. Yeah, you.
Hey, Sammy.
Yeah, we've been friends for like about 20 years. So I just love her. And she's actually the one who gifted me my podcasting microphone that I'm using for this session. So thank you, Sammy, for supporting me and wanting to help out. So, and just for being awesome. And I love you.
Sammy, thank you so much. I need to meet the Sammy. We need to hang out.
She's she's like again, it's like a 20-year relationship.
Yeah, I love that. Is she a lover of horror as well, or just was like
She's more into like sci-fi and fantasy kind of stuff. She loves like historical dramas too.
Okay.
But she has watched so many scary movies with me. Not necessarily her thing, but she's watched so many scary movies with me.
Like a trooper.
Yep. We do this thing, buddy system. We live together different times in our lives, you know. So sometimes if I was picking a movie that I kind of had a feeling it might be a bit of a dud or whatever, I'd be like, hey, buddy system, you watch it with me. We get through it together. And then if it's really bad, you get to pick the next 2 movies and I'll buddy system with you there. So she's watched many, many scary movies with me.
I love that. Oh my gosh. Okay. That's great.
Well,
That's really great.
Before we go, you know I'm going to ask you this summer. I don't know how to do it on my own computer, but we have to take a photo somehow, like here, because like whenever me and Summer do video calls, we always have these like goofy filters and crap on it.
I love the filters.
Okay.
I love them.
I don't know how to take. How do we take a picture?
I can take a screenshot.
You can take it too. Okay, my hair's a little crazy, but that's okay.
Jesse, you want to pop on for the picture?
Sure.
There he is.
Yay.
Okay, everyone get in your pose. All right. It's on.
You get it? Yay.
Were we all looking the right way? I was like, I don't know where to look. Do we look in the middle? Do we look? Yeah, anyway. You got to send us all copies.
Where's your camera located?
Oh, okay. It's right there.
Okay, one more looking at the camera.
This is like basic picture taking 101 here.
I know. I'm like, where is the camera?
You're funny. Okay, ready?
Yeah.
All right. That was so funny.
We need both the pictures.
Yeah,
all right.
Before and after.
Oh my God.
Before, after.
Where's your camera looking at? That's amazing. All right, let's wrap up and sign off. You've been listening to The Dolls of Horror. I'm Summer.
I'm Jamie.
And our guest was?
Elena.
Thank you so much for sticking with us for Poltergeist. We had so much fun talking about this. It is not often we do a paranormal movie with not a lot of kills, so it was different, but I had a great time. Y'all had a great time? Yeah?
Oh, this was such a treat.
Such a treat. All right. We will talk to you later. Bye.
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 This has been a presentation of The Dolls of Horror. New episodes are uploaded every week. If you'd like to reach out and say hello to the dolls, send them an email at thedollsofhorror@yahoo.com. You can also follow them on Facebook and Instagram, both at The Dolls of Horror, or on Twitter at Dolls of Horror for bonus content. And if you really like the podcast and want to support them financially so that they can keep making episodes, consider sending them a donation. Follow the link in the description or go to patreon.com/thedollsofhorror for more information. Thanks for listening and see you next time.
What's going on here? Okay, I apologize. My neighbor's on the same remote. Oh, come on.
Hi, Ben. We got a good football game going on here.
My kids want to watch Mr. Right. So, see, I don't care what you're watching, Ben. Just show a little mercy with that thing.
I love teaching people this because this is like the equivalent of like what's up. It's like what's the crack. So if I say that to you, I'm not asking for drugs. So.
To know people that knew him say that he was such a great person really, really warms my heart because it just sucks when you hear that someone's a prick.
Oh, yeah. It shatters you a little bit because you're like, man, I love this person. It's like, oh, They kick puppies? Like, that sucks.
Do you want them with goo?
It has to have goo.
Yes.